You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Again, I appreciate all of y'all for the support. If you don't mind, please apply pressure to the like button. That way I can get my videos back into the algorithms, because as all of you know, I done fell off a little bit. Being that I have not been uploading, I had to make a lot of readjustments. I had to get another microphone. I had to change a whole lot of things because my content, the audio was terrible, and it basically, did kind of put a dampen on my views and put a little dent in my content as far as being pushed and promoted in the algorithm. So if anybody would just definitely hit that like button, please share, subscribe if you haven't already, I would gladly appreciate that. So now that I'm back on the grind, I got my audio on point and everything is good. There's so much content, there's so much materials, there's so much new recipes that I done cooked up for y'all. So one of the things I want to talk to y'all about was the biggest issue is that you have a lot of these young women out here that are definitely impacting a lot of these older men lives. And I hear about it all the time. It's always dudes out there promoting for older men, for men to date women younger than them, due to the fact that they're easier to control, easier to mold. They don't have excess baggage. We done heard it all. They haven't hit the wall. And me, frankly, I know some 18, 19, 24-year-old females that have definitely hit the wall far harder than women in their 40s. You get what I'm saying? Every woman over 40 has not hit the wall. Every woman over 40 doesn't have an excessive amount of baggage. I know some 23-year-olds. I know women under 30 that got way more excessive baggage than women in their 40s. Multiple children, multiple baby daddies. I get it. Those are the kind of young women that most guys are discouraged to stay away from. For more so, they are promoting the narrative of getting young women that don't have multiple baby daddies. Young women because they never been married. Young women because they're still in shape. Choosing younger women off the mere fact that you can train them and you can program them. Women over 30, 40 are more harder to mold and harder to control, because in an instant, the older woman becomes, the more set in her ways she becomes. And that's what a lot of older guys got to realize. The same thing applies with y'all. You get what I'm saying? The older y'all become, the more y'all become set in y'all ways, which makes it not so much difficult for you to deal with the younger woman, but for the younger woman to basically deal with you. I mean, it's a lot for a young woman to understand that you're going to be what you are. You're going to be the way that you are. You are structured in your way of thinking. You are structured in your way as to how you perceive life, as to how you expect a woman to conduct herself. And although she may go with this program for a little while, especially if you're one of those older men, you're financially well off, or you still look good for your age. You know what I'm saying? You don't like a granddaddy, you look like a zaddy. That may give you a big pass if you don't look so old. And you still physically fit, still physically in shape. That'll give you a pass. Also the fact that if you are willing to bring yourself down a little bit, be fun, be spontaneous. Young women like that. You can't be one of those old men that's, you're stuck in your same zone where you want to go to church every Sunday and you want to barbecue on Saturdays. You got to be willing to understand that young women are very spontaneous. She may not want to grill every Saturday. It's going to be times she's going to want to go to the mall. She's going to want to go shopping. She's going to want to go to concerts. Are you willing to keep up with that? You know, are you willing to let go of your old classic ways? You know what I mean? To accommodate to the young, modernized minded woman. Are you willing to, you know, put in the work and understand that, right? So anyway, the reason I decided to talk about this because your boy Marcus Houston, right? Matter of fact, make sure y'all hit that like button, by the way, if you're just coming in. So let me go ahead and show y'all my little thumbnail, right? So I want to talk about your boy Marcus Houston now. Any of us, you know, from that 90s era, you know, there was a lot of male groups that was popping. You had your, let me see, ABC, BBD, New Edition, and there was one in particular, Immature. Okay, they had a lot of bangers back then. I got the Munchies. They played on House Party 3 as kids' annoying nephews. You know, the House Party with Bernie Mac, that was on that one. Marcus Houston also played on Sister Sister as Roger, the annoying neighbor or, you know, friend that would always hang around a little bit. So Marcus Houston has a longevity of career, you know, of history, being in the industry, right? He's been, like I said, in the boy band when he was just a kid. Really cute, called teeny bop music back then, right? But he has some bangers. I still like the song Constantly. That was on heavy rotation for me. Stay the Night, Feel the Funk. Y'all just got to go through YouTube and type in Immature in case, you know what I mean, refresh your memory. But, you know, he had a lot of bangers back then, right? But Marcus Houston has always had a lot of controversy surrounding his life with his producer / cousin Chris Stokes. Not to mention, Marcus Houston lost his mom at a very young age. So he went through a lot in his life, you know, in his young life, you know. But at the same time, he did earn a lot of success over the years, you know. So you got to give him that, you know. He was one of the few that pretty much survived, you know, the industry as a child. He didn't end up on drugs. He didn't end up in prison. You know, some people, especially young people, children who have been in the industry since they were kids, and the industry no longer gives them that attention that they're used to getting. Some of them completely derail. They resort to drugs. They resort, you know, to a criminal lifestyle to maintain that, you know, materialistic lifestyle that they once had during their duration of fame. And sometimes it's really hard to readjust, you know what I mean, to go from being that young celebrity that everybody was crushing on, everybody used to admire, all of the girls wanted to be with you, all of the guys wanted to be like you, to go from that to now, okay, you're in your 40s now. Nobody's checking for you like that no more. You just not it. You know what I mean? It happens. And some people cannot let the fame go. Then they start doing things like really outrageous, like Kanye West. They have to do things for shock value. You know what I mean? To keep that relevance, you know, because it's that going back to a nobody, you know, that nobody recognized. Nobody's not checking for like that. Attention is a hell of a drug. And celebrities especially, they have a hard time with moving on and just accepting that this is your new life right now. This is your new norm. People ain't running you down asking for your autographs. People not, you know, buying your music like that. You know what I mean? So it happens. Everything has an expiration date. It's only fair to say that, right? So Marcus Houston, in particularly, I wanted to address because he too had that red pill mindset, and I'm not gonna say all red pill guys have that same narrative. You got some guys who who are in the red pill arena, and they still have enough wisdom and knowledge and understanding to know that young women do come with baggage. It may not be the baggage of multiple children and multiple failed marriages, but if they don't come with baggage, you're going to bring some baggage to them because you are older. If there's no way you're going to be on this earth for 40 years or more and you don't have no baggage, even if you don't have children, your baggage could be the fact that you're stuck in your ways. Your baggage could be the fact that you want a woman that's going to basically be like a robot and not have a mind of her own. So everybody's coming with baggage, right? So I want to show y'all a few TikTok videos. Marquise Houston's and his wife ended up divorcing. I guess she realized that as a young woman, she has a life of her own to live. And being up under this authority of an older 40-year-old man who has traveled, who has been everywhere, who's been with multiple women, who's traveled around the world, there's not much for him to see because he's seen everything. And the problem is she hasn't, and that's the chance you take when you date somebody that's younger. Now, I would also say this. You got older women that are doing the same thing. Like Drea Michelle, who also picked up Jalen Green, who is the age of her son. Drea Michelle is 40. Jalen Green is 22. And I think her son is 21, 22. Basically, she's dating somebody her son's age. She had a baby from Jalen, who is a multi-million basketball athlete. So y'all do the math. You get what I'm saying? Straight up womb hustling at its finest. And a lot of people, was giving her smoke too. And righteously so. I just have a problem with people that are 40, 50. And y'all are going after people that's 20 and under. Y'all know good damn well. I mean, you could lie to yourself and make yourself feel like, well, they of age. They 18. They are adults. To me, it's still a pedophile mindset. I couldn't even be interested in no 19, 20-year-old man. Granted, he's grown according to the law, but my morals and my mindset, I just wouldn't have the patience for it, right? But nevertheless, people like what they like, right? So before I digress, we're going to go into a couple of videos that talk about what happened with Marcus Houston and why his marriage failed with the younger woman. And that's what we're going to talk about. Problems with tricking, marrying, or controlling younger women, or thinking you can control younger women. It's a lot that comes with that. But I'm going to play a few snippets, right? So we can kind of be on the same page. So let's get to let's get to the root of it, right? So... all right, I'm going to play just a little bit of this. A content creator named Sean DeVay Way. Shout out to him. If you haven't subscribed to him already, definitely subscribe. He's a phenomenal content creator as well. So I'm going to be playing different snippets. I'm just going to play some of what he had to say because I think he brought up some very significant points about R&B singer Marcus Houston and his former wife, Maya Houston, who are no longer separated. They are actually divorced. So they're no longer together. So let's just go ahead and play this and get it done.
Today, I bring you a video on Marcus and Mia Houston, whom went viral back in 2020 because of their marriage. And no, not because it was Marcus's first marriage, so people were happy and proud, or because he was marrying a beautiful woman. No, not at all. It was because there was a 19-year age gap in between Marcus and his bride-to-be, his teen bride-to-be. Marcus was 39 and Mia was 19. So, of course, the world was in an uproar about Marcus Houston not only dating Mia from the age of 17, because, again, he stated that they had only been dating about a year and a half.
Okay, fair use, fair use. Anything I say, anything I promote in this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please hit that like button, and this is my disclaimer.
Mia was 17 when they had first became public with their relationship. Shout out to Media Takeout. 2000s R&B star Marcus Houston, 43, has reportedly separated from his wife, Mia Dickey, 23, whom he met when she was just 17 years old. Rumors of their split have been circulating for weeks, fueled by social media activity suggesting tension between the two. Observers have noted that neither Marcus nor Mia have been seen wearing their wedding rings, leading to widespread speculation that their marriage may have come to an end. Marcus is not wearing his wedding ring in recent photographs. If confirmed, this separation marks the latest chapter in a relationship that has been controversial from the start. The couple married in 2020 when Mia was 19 and Marcus was 39, drawing criticism due to their significant age gap and the circumstances underneath which they met. Despite facing years of public scrutiny, the couple maintained their relationship was built on love and mutual respect. However, with recent indications that they may have split, social media users have been revived discussions about their controversial union.
Fair
During
use.
TV1's Uncensored episode, which aired on April 9th, Houston attempted to clarify the timeline of their relationship, saying, "Me and my wife's situation is a little different. How we met through mutual friends and everything like that. When I met my wife, she was 17. So we had no conversation, no real connection until, she was of age." Side note, Mia has not been wearing her wedding ring either. Now, I'm going to say this. I am not rooting for people to get divorced. They do have two little beautiful children, a boy and a girl. And I'm happy that they do have kids and whatnot. I view children as blessings. But I don't agree with the relationship. I never agreed with the relationship when they first got together. If Marcus Houston would have met Mia at like 18 or 19 years old and they decided that they fell in love and that they wanted to get married, then although there is a significant age gap, I'm not necessarily going to judge it. It may not be for me, but it's for other people. I can understand that. But knowing the history and knowing that Marcus Houston knew her from the age of at least 14 years old, I can't get behind it. It does give, GROOMING, with you knowing her many years prior as a teenager and her coming into her adult years, and then all of a sudden you are not only claiming her, but you are proposing marriage as well.
Okay, and I'm gonna pause it at that. Yeah, and this is just the truth. A lot of dudes move. Oops, this is the truth. A lot of dudes, let me see. I think I probably make sure I didn't mute that content. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I had the video clip in there because I thought I had muted it. Okay, but yeah, you have a lot of men that play this game, and I guess they call it playing it safe. They meet a girl at the age of 15, 16, hang around her, buy her things, be in the company of her until she's of legal age. I strongly believe that's exactly what Jay-Z did as well, even though to this day, the Beehive and everyone was swept up and down that Beyonce was of age when she met Jay-Z, and she was not. Beyonce was a child. She was 16, 17, and Jay-Z was every bit of in his early 30s. And he was smart enough to know, hey, I cannot put it out there right now that I'm talking to this woman or I'm dating this woman. That's going to give my fans, that's going to give, all the brands that sponsor me, the brands that I'm a partnership with, if they get any indication that I'm dating the young Beyonce, it's automatically going to put me at risk with my integrity, with my reputation, and I don't want that kind of smoke. Fortunately, Beyonce was young, and what she did was she just followed the orders of Jay-Z. He taught her what to say, how to say it, and how to conduct herself in a manner in which it wouldn't look so obvious. And you have young women, they understand the assignment that they have to follow the lead of the older guy, especially if they really like this man and they don't want anything to happen to them. They don't want them to lose their reputation. They don't want them to lose their brands. So, you know, older men are very clever at explaining to young girls what to say, what not to say. You know, they basically put themselves in daddy mode and tell these young women that they're dating, hey, this is what you do if people interview you. You don't say nothing about we dating, we seeing each other. This is our personal secret. This is our personal relationship. We don't need to let nobody know that we are in a relationship, because everybody is not going to be opened to us dating because of our age differences. Not only that, you got a lot of haters out there. People going to be jealous of us being together, being that I'm this big time entrepreneur, rapper, athlete, whatever, and here it is, you're this young woman coming into success. You're going to have a lot of haters out there. So a lot of these older men, they know how to dress and finesse these young women into keeping their trap closed. And if she's a young woman who's kind of been raised to follow the authority of a man, especially if she had a father, like Beyonce, right, who wholeheartedly always respected her dad. So when these older men approach these young women and tell them, give them rules, give them instructions, give them guidelines, these young women don't look at it like this older dude is trying to groom me or trying to control me. You know, she's looking at it like, you know, he really likes me. He's looking out for my best interest. And, you know, that's how a lot of these older guys have an advantage, especially if they are successful, good looking, and they have the right type of suave, you know what I mean? Lot of young females, they fall for this, right? So I'm gonna also show y'all some more TikTok videos of people who also opinionated on this. Again, big ups to make sure I say his name correctly, Sean Davy Way, for giving his insight on that. I will play the whole thing, but I don't want to, you know, overuse somebody else's content, right? So let's go to some of these TikTok videos. Me come back. Okay. All right, guys. So I am going to play some of these for y'all. Okay. All right. So I saved a few of these. So let me, okay, that's better that way. I'm not removing myself. Okay, so I got a double screen here. All right, so I'm going to play different videos on people who also gave their perspective or intake on this as well. And like I said, a lot of people on the same wavelength, and I'm glad there's so many guys, so many men that are speaking up about this. They're not promoting that this is okay. So this definitely gives me so much more respect for a lot of men out there who is not co-signing on the shenanigans of being with somebody's child, and you're waiting till they get old enough. Now you want to claim them, but the thing is, you're not fooling nobody. You had already groomed this person. You've been buying this girl gifts. You've been picking up from school. You know, you just on standby. You like that old creepy dudes, you know, giving a kid candy till they get comfortable enough around you, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and play some of these videos.
Now, in case says, this is Marcus Houston. Now, Marcus Houston, he played on a show called Sister Sisters with Tia and Tamara Mowry. He's also a part, or was a part of the group IMX or Immature back in the 90s. But before I get to the story, I want to know why he sprayed this goddamn hair on top of his head like we wasn't going to notice. You feel me? But yeah, back to the story.
He's spraying that because, again, these older men feel the pressure of having to look young. They don't want these young women to notice that they're balding or, you know, they're missing teeth. So, yeah, that's the pressure of being an older man with a young woman. When that swag start to sag, y'all get my drift.
He did an interview just about a year ago about him and his wife and the age and how they met and the origins and all that. In case y'all don't remember, this young lady went missing from the age of 15 to the age of 17. And they had everybody asking and speculating, did he know her when she was the age 15? And for these 2 years, where was this young lady at? She just came back and showed up back at her mama house. Nothing was wrong. She didn't look disheveled or nothing like that. So what really happened? And then it said they met due to the fact that they basically is in a religious cult, basically. And you got Jehovah's Witness like that. You got other different things like that. And this is pretty much where she was met at. And whether y'all know or not, they really have a lot of PDF files in the Jehovah's Witness. And a lot of times these religious cults is used to traffic young ladies. But now everything has backfired on him. I never will understand how a 41-year-old will have a serious interest in a 19-year-old. Like, I never understand. But now, she living her best life. She thotting it up. She on Instagram. She twerking. And he at home, stuck with the kids. This is what you get when you get a young girl who never experienced life, who been part of all these different religious cults or whatever, these religious situations, and she want to live life because she see different things. You got social media, you got TV, you got a whole bunch of things that's showing you what's going on. She not trying to be cooped up with what he about, 43, 44 now? She don't want to be cooped up with him. That's two totally different generations. And these people think in two totally different ways. Everybody talking about Diddy. Focus on this egghead little bastard right here. Because him and Chris Stokes been getting accusations for the past 10 years or more. So yeah, look into him. Because I'm pretty sure when she ran away at 15, she was at this nigga house. She was at his house. It just probably got too hot. Shit got too heated. He brought her back to her mama, waited till she turned 18 and continued to brainwash her. But this is a crazy situation, man. Keep your young daughters away from old ninjas like that. Because me personally, I can't take no 19-year-old serious. But TikTok, y'all drop it down in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it at that, right? So, of course, you have a lot of people in the comment section. Jehovah's Witness got very offended when he labeled them as a cult. I don't think personally he meant it that way. I just believe that some of these religious groups have a cult mindset to a degree. Now, I can't say specifically Jehovah's Witness, but let's face it. Some of these religious groups, whether Jehovah, Christian, what's the other one, Catholic, whatever, they allow older men, and I think Amish, I'm not sure, they allow older men to wife young girls. It's a tradition with some cultures. It's a tradition with some religions. It's not for me to say which religions specifically abide by that, because people get offended. But a lot of Jehovah's Witness was going in like, we are not a cult. We don't believe in that. So listen, you got to be careful, because when it comes to religion or politics, people will go ham. And in celebrity idolization, whenever you go in on people's favorite celebrity that they have made their God and Lord and Savior, and you have an opinion, listen, people is trying to counsel your channel, counsel you, all kind of stuff, right? But I do agree with a lot of the things the guy said in the video. He got with this young lady when she was a child. He knew exactly what he was doing. And when the heat got hot, he sent her back and, waited till she got of age. That way it would look right. And like any other young woman, she went with the flow for a little while. But these young women, they have not lived their life. They don't want to sit home with a 40-year-old and watch Sanford and Son and watch Grey's Anatomy, and all of these, like, series. I mean, as an older man, you done pretty much did everything you wanted to do. She's not fully emotionally developed. She's not that strong as far as in her mentality of being able to accept the fact that this is going to be the only man I'm going to be with for the rest of my life, even though I'm only in my 20s. It gets boring. You know, you come home, you be around this 40-year-old man, and just your children, and he just wants you to be around him. He wants you to be up under him. He knows that if he gives you too much freedom, most likely you'll get in situations. He don't want you going out too much with your girlfriends, because you're going to see nice looking guys in your age, 22, 23. That's like an older woman thinking young men, she dates a young man, he's not going to be attracted to her daughter. He's not going to be attracted to females, you know what I mean, like his age. It's bananas to me that y'all pick up these young people and think they not going to want their young life. They not going to want to be with people within their age range, right? But yeah, he made some solid points there. You know, any man who can convince himself that he has something in common with a 19-year-old female, that's, you know, that's a little petty to me. All right, but anyway, let's go to some other videos before we go more into the content.
Oh, I want to talk about these two because they have reportedly been broken up for a while now. If you have not seen my previous video about these two, definitely go check it out. But anyway, you know, he has been posting a lot on social media. Not only has he been posting a lot, but he's been posting, posts that shows that he may be, brokenhearted and all of that. And this is the post that he put up earlier on today. And I just feel like maybe this is a cry for help or something. But again, he has been posting just heartbreaking posts, okay?
And the reason he been posting a heartbreaking post because he really thought he had that young girl under his thumbnail. He really swore for sure. You know, he had convinced himself that he made a really good choice by getting a young woman. Because again, young women, they are you can program them to listen to what you say, and they will do what you say do. Because you know these older women out here, they don't hit the wall, and they don't know how to submit to a grown man. You know what I mean? They want a grown man to follow. They don't want a grown man to lead. And I had to get this young tenderoni who I know gonna be submissive, who I know gonna do what I say, who I know gonna follow me like a puppy. And he heartbroken because he was really sure of himself. He thought he really had her under control. Obviously he didn't.
On Instagram and all of that. So I don't know, he probably misses her and all of that, but as we know, she has deleted all pictures of him, okay? So I don't know what that means, but they have not officially divorced. It looks like they have just separated, but this is what has been going on. Drop down in the comments, let me know your thoughts.
Okay, and I will also say this, right? I will play devil's advocate. You do have a lot of young women that get with these older guys and see the reality of being with a man older than them. They find out it's not that fun, it's not that entertaining. It gets old. This man wants you to stay home and be up under him like a damn a heating pad. He wants you to be up under him all the time. But the crazy thing is, I've also seen this. I've seen young women who get tired of, their older husband or man or whatever, only to go out there and be frolicking with a lot of young guys they age. And when they find out young guys they age don't have nothing to offer because you're used to this older man that has given you stability, you're used to this older man that has money, and you get with these young guys that were just like you were at one part of time, still staying with their parents, still trying to financially get themselves together. That's the other thing, because she has experience being with an older guy, man that has stability. She may see a guy her age as a bum, you know what I mean, as a low value man, so it's a catch-22, because the thing about it is she has children, and unless she meets a guy her age that's financially well off and don't mind being a step-up stepdad. You know, hopefully she doesn't regret it when she gets back out there into the streets and realize that, man, shoot, I mean, yeah, I'm meeting all kind of guys my age, but they broke, busted, and disgusted. They can't provide, you know what I mean? Or either she may not have no regrets. She still may be happy with the fact that she is not having to be a ball and chain to Marcus Houston. So it all kind of depends. I just want to give y'all another way of looking at it. It's been some females who've done that and regretted it and wished it would have worked things out. So I don't know, Marquise. Give a minute. Maybe once she done been ran through, she may be she may be ready to come back. But let's play some more, a couple more videos, and then I'm gonna go straight to my commentary.
I'm good.
I gotta ask, I mean, does it upset you that the internet seems to have a problem about the age that your wife was when you married her? I mean, everyone's talking about it.
Absolutely not.
I mean, how come?
I mean, you gotta think about it. Everybody has their own opinion. Opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. I'm not a kind of person that don't really care what people think about me. So say what you want. I'm happily married. I love my wife. We have a beautiful daughter. And that's how we live it.
I mean, I always have to ask, like, people are saying your wife must have been like a little bit younger when you married her. I mean, can you set this record straight?
Yes, so she was 19 when we got married. She was 18 when we started dating. So, a lot of misconception out there about a lot of people try to like twist her age online and make it seem like she was born a year earlier. She wasn't. She's 22 going on 23. And, she keeps me young and fresh. What can I say? We have a love that people don't really understand. And I don't really care to explain it.
She keeps me young and fresh. And I do notice some older men will date younger women because they don't want to accept the fact that they're getting older. So they feel like as long as they're with a young woman, they are not old. Interesting. I'm also going to play this.
Situation is a little different, how we met, through mutual friends and everything like that. When I met my wife, she was 17. So, we had no really conversation and no really connection until,
now you notice,
she was.
Now you notice with this, he said she was 17. The last video I just showed y'all, he said she was 18. The math ain't mathin', bro. But let's continue.
People don't understand it. And I got a lot of backlash for marrying someone else 19. And, when we did finally start to talk, I was like, this woman is like me. And she was just like, when I would talk to her, she just, for one, we had a spiritual connection. And I feel like that's the...
So, this is a classic case of deflection. Again, he's moving the goalpost with her age because even he knows it does not sound right. Okay? Also, he's learned to reason. This is that I want to make sure I use the right wording. This is that pedophile reasoning in which you're going to try to make it make sense, right? We had a spiritual connection. She's just like me. We have so much in common. What the hell could a 40-year-old man have in common with a 17, which he admitted, a 17-year-old? Again, this is gaslighting. This is deflecting. I don't want to own that I'm wrong for even choosing a female this young in my age, this young in age. That's what he basically lying to himself, trying to convince himself, if anything.
The most important thing. We both love God. We both love Jehovah, and that was key. And being able to start being around her and talking to her and talking to, like, we got it. We connected through music, and her spirit, her kindness, her heart reminds me a lot of my mom. And just, we connected on so many different... Me and my wife's situation is a little different.
Okay, so let me pause that. So basically his logic is, she's just like me. We have a spiritual connection. We both love Jehovah. And he ended it where she's just like my mom. Now keep in mind his mom passed away when he was only 16 years old from cancer. Rest in peace to her. However, sir, all of that is red flags. You should not be connecting with any woman just off the merits that you said, just off of religion. Religion is not a strong enough glue to solidify that you and the person are connected. Just because y'all believe in the same higher being or have the same religious principalities, that's not enough to actually assume that y'all have a connection. Also, the fact that you and a person are just alike, that's not good either. I wouldn't want a man that's just like me, and I'm sure he wouldn't want me to be just like him. You have to have some type of differences in your logics, your way of thinking. Opposites do attract. If y'all both on the same page, y'all gonna bump heads. And who's to say, you have some older men that are childish. Maybe that's why he felt like he was connected with her. Maybe there's a little immaturity. Maybe he's still a little immature. Inside joke. Maybe he's still a little immature himself, which is why he felt he could vibe with this young woman. You have some men that are very, very childish. So when they dealing with a young girl, in their mind, we click. We understand each other. No grown man is going to sit up there and say that him and a 19-year-old or 18-year-old understand each other. That does not sound right. And the fact that she's just like his mom. You don't want a woman that reminds you of your mom. You think you want that, but at the same token, you don't. Because when a woman starts to become overly motherly instead of learning that she's your companion, she don't need to be acting like your mom or telling you what to do, overly coddling you. It's bound to be some conflict of interest with that. So just all of his logics, again, all that's what I consider pedophilia reasoning. When a full-grown man tries to rationalize why he's dealing with a young woman. I'm going to also play this, and then I'm going to play one more, and then we'll get ready to shut it down momentarily.
How 17-8-year-old is doing anything substantial for a 30-plus-year-old man.
Depends on where you are in your life and what you're looking for.
That may be true for me. An individual of that age hasn't even lived enough life to really hold a conversation with me on a very...
But that's what I'm saying. Everybody might not be looking for conversation. We talk about all the time men's different ways of selecting who they want to be with and stuff like that. And it's all based on what we feel like we need. Whatever. I'm probably going to look for...
Can't even buy you no liquor. So what is you doing? What's fun about that? What is fun about that? What is fun about that?
Look, I worked hard. I'm already established. I got a little bit of money. I want to enjoy my life now. I don't want to be with an old battle axe. I want to be with somebody who keep me, I don't want to be with a battle axe. I want to be with somebody that's going to keep me young and youthful, and we see it all the time.
Yeah, and you have men who totally think like this, and like I said, I don't knock it. It's just that you have to look further down the line. If that's what you like, that's what you like. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Like this guy said here, mentally, we're not on the same page, but the other guy that was rebuttaling his viewpoint said, I don't want no old battle act, And why do y'all think older women got to be old women? Older women could be just somebody that's 3 years older than you, 4 years older than you. I'm not talking about you got to go to a nursing home, you know what I mean? Or you need to find a woman that's on the usher board. I'm not saying that, you know what I mean? You can, older doesn't have to be somebody 10, 15 years. It could be somebody 5. It could be somebody 8. You kind of want that middle ground of, if you want somebody young, you don't want them so young to the point that they haven't experienced anything, they haven't learned much of anything, they still are curious about the world. Y'all demonize women being older like it's a disease or something, and realize all of us are getting older. I mean, may God bless you to even see old age, because a lot of people aren't even, this generation, a lot of people are going quicker than their grandparents, quicker than their parents. So we should embrace aging instead of treating aging like it's a curse, right? And again, you like what you like, you love what you love. And same thing when these older women go after these young men who haven't lived their life, who haven't explored everything they needed to explore. That's the same thing. And they wonder why these young dudes cheat on them. And a lot of these young guys get with older women because they want a woman that's going to take care of them too. You get what I'm saying? All of that. But all these things you got to be mindful of. But let me play one more video and then we're going to come out of here.
Want to be with a woman that felt like, oh, I don't need you, or I don't, you know what I'm saying, like that. So, you know, and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and you know, they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not. You know, it's just there's so many different women that I've dated throughout my life, and this just so happened to be the one that caught my heart.
Now, I could be wrong, but I didn't hear Marcus Houston say, I don't date older women, you know, because they come with baggage. That's why I'm dating a younger woman, because they don't have any baggage. I didn't get that from what he said just now. The internet might feel like he said that, but I didn't hear him.
That's exactly what he said. Come on, Charlemagne. Don't help this man to gaslight. You're gaslighting. Now you're trying to gaslight off of his gaslighting. He is indicating he's addressing why he chose this younger woman, because he said older women come with baggage. This is a no-brainer. Come on.
Yeah, he said women that are my age, like a lot of women my age, very independent. He says they are like, I don't need a man to do this for me because I can do it for myself. He said sometimes dating older women, they come with baggage, they have kids, and yeah, he did say that.
Well, but he didn't say that's why. He didn't say I'm dating a younger woman because they don't have no baggage. Like
no, he didn't say that.
I didn't get that from that what he said. But everybody has baggage at a certain age.
I think so.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you 40 plus years old, you're gonna have a traumas that you might come into a situation with. That's why we always tell people like to go do the work. Like that's why we encourage people to go to therapy, you know what I mean? So they can deal with their traumas before their traumas deal with them. And if they don't deal with their traumas, they'll bring those traumas into a relationship, and then those traumas will be projected onto the person that they're in a relationship with. You know what I mean? And how many older men we know over 40 that got kids as well? So what does he mean when he says baggage? If you're of a certain age, you're gonna have some baggage. Baggage. I'm putting baggage in parentheses, by the way.
Well, I do feel like a lot of older men date younger women for one reason, because they feel like a younger woman possibly can be controlled easier or more because they haven't lived their life. They don't really know as much as an older woman. They haven't lived, as people would say. I also feel like a lot of men would date younger women because they feel like younger women, their body hasn't met gravity yet, right?
Boy,
what?
This boy.
A lot of men
Marcus
feel that
Houston
way.
chose violence.
What?
Wow. I thought Marcus Houston chose violence.
Not me.
Rashawn Casey, DJ Envy just chose violence. Tell me, Envy, explain more. What do you mean? What do you mean their bodies haven't met gravity yet? What are you saying?
I mean, our bodies all meet gravity. Your balls don't sit the same way.
Yes, they do, actually.
Okay, well, let's go.
No. I want you to know, you have to explain this. You shouldn't just get out of this one. What did you mean by that statement?
When people are older, their ass starts to drop. Sometimes their breasts start to drop. It's gravity.
You're lying. Let me tell you something. These 40-year-old women, these 50-something-year-old women are killing these young girls nowadays. Every woman that I think is beautiful is way over the age of 40. I don't care if they're in entertainment or just walking around in everyday life. These 40-year-old women know how to take care of themselves way better than a lot of these young girls.
That's the reason why a lot of older men choose young women. I'm married, bro. So don't even look at me. I'm married. My wife is.
You're not making no sense. Okay. I'm saying that the older women are killing these young girls in the look department, and you saying that's why older men choose younger women?
A lot of times the reason why older men choose younger women.
Moonwalk. You just keep fighting. You are just trying to prove this stupid ass point. You just told all these women that when they get old, everything drops. That's what you just said.
Mike,
you said these older women is out here saggy, flabby, and sick. That's what you just said. You just chose big violence. Why?
I would never want to be with a...
Now, I'm gonna pump the brakes on that. Understood exactly where DJ Envy was coming from, because you do have guys that assume once women are over 40, they're sagging, they're dropping, and gravity has taken its toll. They dropping, like everything's dropping. Like, Walmart rollback prices, you know what I mean? So Charlemagne was moving the goalposts on that, but that is the truth. You got guys who really think like that. Again, it's that pedophilia logics of, I don't want to date women older than me because all of them sagging, which, I mean, listen, I'm 45. Okay, so nothing sagging over here, you feel me? Everything there, that the logics, that is, Envy was breaking down the logics of how guys who try to rationalize why they rather date younger women. Now, that's besides the point. Marcus Houston just basically insinuated that. Matter of fact, I'm going to play that part one more time because Charlemagne kind of threw me off. I just want to play the part that Marcus Houston says.
Felt like, oh, I don't need you, or you know what I'm saying, like that. So, you know, and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and, you know, they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not. You know, it's just, there's so many different women that I've dated throughout my life, and this just so happened to be the one that caught my heart.
Now, I could be wrong.
Okay, now let me say that. So he said the problem with older women is that they're too independent. And that's a curse. So you would rather have a woman that's totally dependent on you. Oh, I know why. Because it gives you more of an advantage to control and regulate and dominate. You don't want a woman with her own mind. A lot of times when a guy says a woman that's too independent, other words, you got too much of your own common sense. I won't be able to influence you. I won't be able to manipulate you. But I get it. At the same time, a man needs to feel like he has a purpose in a woman's life. And if she's constantly, discrediting him and saying, I don't need a man, I don't want a man, I got everything under control, then what is the purpose of him being there if you are so independent? So I get that. Some women try to use independency as a weapon against a man. And women who think like that, that's just a defense mechanism to prove, in an event that you let me down, disappoint me, don't come through, I can take care of myself. Being independent is not a badge of honor. That's called being responsible. That's called being a grown ass woman. That's called being a grown ass man. You don't get accolades, praises, and worship service because you are independent. That's for anybody these days. Even if you're married, you still better be independent. I've been married 25 years. I'm still independent. I got to have my own business, make my own money, because if something happens, I want to be able to take care of me. And it doesn't always have to be a divorce or something. It could be if my husband gets hurt, gets injured, something like that. I got to be able to maintain and be able to bring something to the table. So the fact that he used that pedophilia logic of women his age is too independent. You already, if you let a person talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. You already saying you want a woman slow, dumb, who don't know nothing. So that gives you an automatic advantage. He said women his age got too much baggage. Do y'all not realize, listen, I'm 45 years old and got one child. I know women that are 20 and 30 and got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 baby daddies. You know, still living off their moms. You know what I mean? Don't have no type of self-sufficiency. Not self-sufficient at all. No independence at all. Baggage is not age. Baggage is how you live your life. How you handle your business. Let me come out and put that on there. There's a misconception of that. There's this misconception of age automatically is a factor of baggage. You have some 40, 50-year-old women. We don't have a whole lot of baggage. If anything, because of wisdom, knowledge, and grace and understanding, we, for the most part, try to structure our lives in a sense in which we don't have so much burdens. It's these young women today, they don't care about burdens. All they know is they see a guy, they see a man they want, get pregnant, don't even know if the dude gonna be solid, don't even know if there's, you know, any like real future or anything, you know, that's going to be stable. No real, there's no real plans. You got a lot of young women that are just living as they go. The problem with tricking, marrying, or controlling younger women. Let me just get into the factors before I get ready to exit, right? One of the things is a lot of them, they are users. While a lot of these older guys think they're using young women, these young women are using older guys. They're using you for a come up. If they have to have a baby from your 60, 70-year-old self or whatever in order to secure your pension, for child support, your 401k plan. A lot of women, by any means, they taking this womb hustling to a whole nother level in which they're trying to secure a future in which they never have to work, and they can get any man that they choose, and basically you just got to go by that. You just basically got to accept whatever comes with it, pretty much. Another thing is, they're not always an essential helpmate. A lot of them don't have the skills, they don't have the logics of what it takes to be an assistant to a man. In other words, because they're still young and still don't even know themselves, they're still learning themselves. It's going to be times when you as a man, you may have a situation in which you're going to need a woman that can think fast, could think quick on her feet. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody you have to constantly keep guiding and keep instructing. Now, although it may seem great in the beginning that you have somebody that you got to tell everything, you got to teach everything, you got to train everything, the problem is if you're in a situation in which you need a woman that's going to have to think for herself for once. You're not going to always be there to get in her head and tell her what to do. God forbid you on your deathbed. You need her to handle your insurance policy money. And she's not experienced in that. And you got other children who you may want for her to be able to evenly leave a fair share. Nah, what these young women think, oh, that's coming to me. I don't care who misses out. Other things with dealing with younger women is that a lot of them lack domesticated skills. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. Now, you may get lucky and find one who's been raised in a wholesome family that understands the values of a woman doing that. But the truth is, a lot of them don't know how to do that. They don't cook. They don't clean. They don't look into the bills to see what's paid on time, what's left behind, what you're delinquent on. They got this Princess Patty concept. Now, for some older men, this works. You might not mind if you got a lot of money. You might can get you a maid that can cook, so she can escape domesticated duties. She won't have to cook if you got a maid. She won't. I mean, if you got a chef. She may not have to clean if you got a maid, so if you're rich and well off, you may not even care about that. The bad part is, though, you're creating a spoiled brat, in a sense of, if you were to lose your empire, if something was to terribly go wrong, and for whatever reason you can no longer accommodate her with these essentials, then how is she going to be able to compensate for that? In an event you can no longer afford a chef, no longer afford a housekeeper. She done got too bougie. You done created her to be so bougie to where she's not going to clean toilets. She's not going to feel like she has to do anything. Other issues with young women is that, let's just face it, a lot of them are just dumb. They are dumb. They don't know what to say, when to say it. There's a time and a place for things. You cannot bring this young woman around your family. Too frequently, she's not going to be able to know how to relate. Now, again, all young women are not young women. Some are very smart. Some are very intelligent. Some of them, they know how to conduct themselves. Some of them, not so much. They're not so bright. They don't understand. They can't read the room and understand that there's just certain things they shouldn't say, certain things they shouldn't do, a certain way they shouldn't dress. You got young women around here who still want to wear booty shorts, who still think that you can't even bring them to a board meeting of yours around professional individuals, because she does not know how to conduct herself, does not know how to articulate herself, doesn't understand business terms, no business logics. She's there with you, but she's lost in the sauce. While you got this big old boardroom meeting going on where y'all talking about investments, y'all talking about stocks and bonds, she's there sitting there lost in the sauce. She's thinking about when is her package from Shein going to be delivered to the house. I mean, you know, a lot of them are just not that bright. They're beautiful and pretty, but and they're great eye candy, but you get in a situation, you need her to be a woman, and you know, she just don't have the womanly tools or the skills or the abilities to do that. If you're tricking off of them, this is another thing. Like with the Shannon Sharp, these young women, when they get mad, because you got to realize young women are not good with handling their emotions. They're not good with controlling their emotions. And the moment you and this younger woman, you know, who's tricking off of you, you tricking off of her, y'all have a spit spat, a disagreement. Now they know they can sue you. These young women, they know that now. You piss them off, you make them mad, they can sue you. Cassie had a lot of information on Diddy. She been around him, know him in and out. And she finally, out of the blue, decided to expose him, you know, for his abuse. These young women, you never have them rap like you think you do. You thinking you're manipulating them. And all the while they manipulating you. They playing your game. They going along with what you want. You got to realize, you know, a lot of people say that these young girls, they knew what they was doing. They're not victims. They knew better. This and that. In a sense, they're going to always be victims to a degree. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they're much younger. They just don't have the experience that an older man has. Now, this doesn't negate the fact they don't know what they're doing. Oh, yeah, they know what they're doing. These older men didn't put a weapon to their head and said, you better come be with me. You better. These older guys know it's called coercive control. You don't have to always necessarily just put your hands on somebody to get them to do what you want them to do, but you can control them by giving them a lifestyle and threatening to take that lifestyle away. If you smashing this, if you're a 20-year-old female and you smashing this dude in his 70s, you letting him break your back out, you know what I mean? You letting him pop his Viagra and do what he do, and y'all have this relationship in which he provides a lifestyle. And the moment this older dude wants to get beside himself, I'm not giving you nothing no more. Or the demands get too high. You know, he wants you to start doing freaky stuff that's way outrageous. His sexual demands done got to a whole another level in which, you know, it's disgusting. You know, it's gross. This old man wants you to toss his salad now. He wants you to lick his toes now because he has all this money and provide you with his lifestyle. So he's being greedy with his fetishes, right? Him just getting it from the front, from the back, it done got boring. He wants you to do some way out there, outrageous type of stuff now. Things that, you know, even as a young woman, wait a minute, you want me to what? You want me to lick what? You want me to suck what? Just outrageous stuff. Or you decide to get nasty and get biggity on her, and because for whatever reason you just want to shut her down from this lifestyle. If this young woman knows anything about you, she's going to spill it. A lot of these young women have no conscience. They don't care how big your empire is. The way an older woman look at it like, I could destroy him. I can make him lose everything. But if I make him lose everything, then how am I benefit off of him? No, I'm going to sting him just enough to where he going to have to look out for me. But I ain't going to have to destroy him to the quarter where, you know, I'm not going to be able to benefit continuously later on down the line, you know. Young girls, young women don't think about that. Shannon Sharp got herself a plain Jane who did not think about none of all of what he would lose in the event she was to exploit him. This man has getting dropped like a soap in prison. Endorsement after endorsement after endorsement. And we see what happened with Diddy. They so much technical difficulties going on with his case, I won't be surprised if this man end up walking in the strangest way. Unless somebody come with a heavy hitter. Witnesses is disappearing like roaches and stuff. I mean, I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section with Diddy. If he does, is because God, it would take God himself to definitely shut Diddy down. But that's a whole nother story for another day, right? But same thing. You know, Diddy did a lot to Cassie. He gave her enough a reason to where, you know, she was able to use it to her advantage. Yeah, young women ain't no better. And it might have been a money grab move. But at the same time, once that evidence got put out there, no, it didn't even matter if it was a money grab move. The way he was punching and kicking and stumping this girl, it did not even matter. And let's say if he does get off, his reputation is damaged for good. Nobody's not even going to want to be seen eating at the same restaurant as Diddy. Soon as Diddy come in Ruth Chris, everybody getting up and walking out and leaving. Anytime Diddy steps on the scene, people are going to disappear like roaches. You know, like as soon as you turn on the lights, all the roaches scatter. Everybody's going to scatter. If he does get off, he will not be able to live in the United States of America. He's going to have to disappear and move to damn Amsterdam somewhere. He's not going to be able to live here. Not to be able to survive. Like, who going to want to do movies with him? Who going to want to do business with him? Who going to want to do music with him? I mean, y'all, you got a couple of people that's desperate enough, they'll do it. But the problem is, people who support him, who's to say people going to support them for supporting him or rocking with him? As good as they, you know what I mean? Even if he get off, it's not going to be the same. He's going to have to leave and pull a Russell Simmons. He's not going to be able to live here. That's just not going to happen, right? But yeah, Cassie told it all. That's what young women do. Young women tell it all. That's what Shannon Sharp, OnlyFans did. A lot of these older guys, y'all got these sick fetishes. Y'all like, y'all try to act like y'all got all these standards, you know, publicly, but privately, y'all smashing these low-key, plain Jane bunnies. You know, y'all smashing somebody's little girl. You know, a lot of these older men don't have the confidence that they pretend to have. And a lot of that probably came from growing up. Women wasn't checking for them. Now that they're making money, now that they are successful, now they want to go back and catch up on those high school years when females didn't invite them, didn't ask them, you know, didn't want to go to the prom with them. Or, you know, when it came to being chosen for sports. And you know how you had to pick who you wanted on your team. They were the last ones left to where they had to go to the team who was short. You know, let's face it, you got a lot of men out here with low self-esteem issues, just like you got women out here. But these young women, unless you can take the L, don't underestimate them. Don't think that they slow and simple and they don't know anything. Don't underestimate them. Don't think that, you know, you're going to be able to control them, mold them, train them, and raise them like they belong to you. Listen, nobody is nobody's property. People have the right to walk away. People have the right to leave. Just understand, if you do decide to give it to a younger woman, if that's your thing, just be prepared that these are some of the things you might have to go through. And you can't get mad at nobody but yourself. But you don't have to discredit older women because you have a thing for younger women. Now, Marcus Houston is sitting there sick to his stomach because his young queen left him. She's bored. She's tired of sitting around him watching Grey's Anatomy. Okay? You know, she's tired of watching CSI and all of these other, like, shows older people like such as myself be watching. Anyway, y'all, I kept y'all long enough. Let me know what y'all think about this. Please hit that like button for me. Apply pressure to that like button. I would gladly appreciate that. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Until next time, this your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe. Their parents, so I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Bye, y'all. Take care.